Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, over the last 15 years, we've tested 64 different trading courses and we have put the most powerful systems and trading techniques that we've discovered in this brand new trading course. And for a limited time, I'm giving away free access. So go to johnsfreegift.com. That's johnsfreegift.com, or click on the very first link in the description to get free access to this brand new trading course right now. So the stock market is completely roaring to the upside, and one thing I want to really focus on in this video is really understanding the art of reading what the market is telling you and not what you think or what you want the market to tell you. Now what I mean by that is this, is that a lot of people would have these preconceived ideas because they may watch some other videos out there and you know, they say the market's topping out right now, the market's going to crash, the market's going to go down, right? And so I do believe we're going to see a crash. Now guys, a disclaimer on a crash. What is a crash? I think a lot of people, when they talk about market crash, right? When they talk about like the market crash, what do you think what do you see in your mind when you see market crash? One big red down bar, right? Now look over history and how likely is that we're going to see one big 20% red down bar? That's only happened once in the last century, maybe twice. So right, 1987, right? But now they have limiters, which means that if the market drops 7%, they're gonna cut it off, so the market cannot crash that way. So the whole thing about even 2008, right? 2008 was really bad. Now I'm talking about the S&P 500. When you talk about individual stocks, yeah, those things can move really quickly. But when you're looking at the stock market itself, the Dow Jones and the S&P are not a representation of what every single stock is doing in those indices. So if you look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is just an average, right? It has nothing to do with what's likely to happen on an individual stock basis in the S&P 500. Some stocks have been in a big downtrend for quite some time, where the S&P's been going up for quite some time. Some stocks have been in a really good bullish movement, a lot more bullish than the S&P, where the S&P is just starting to break out for the last few weeks. Makes sense? So the Dow Jones and the S&P is just simply a representation. It's just, think about it as just another market that you analyze, okay? And one of the biggest mistakes that I made for a long time there, and I haven't now for many years, is me having a view of what I think, which is your problem, right? We never know what's going to happen, so throw your thinking out the window and trade some sort of a setup. So when we're looking at the markets here, okay, and we say, oh, market crash. What is a market crash? It's a downturn, right? It's a bear market. Now, how long is the average bear market? Well, 2008, all right, was 2008. Did it start in 2008? No. What happened in 2008? 2008 it actually started in the middle of 2007. What I mean by that, it started to form a top in 2007. It took almost pretty much close to 6 to 12 months to completely form a top in the market. 6 to 12 months, not 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, right? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It took a while. It takes a while for the market to form a top. And then it takes a year or so for the overall bear market crash, call it, for that thing to start to form. But when we're looking at the Dow Jones and the S&P, that has nothing to do with the individual stocks, right? Because some individual stocks have been getting hammered lately, where the S&P is been rallying up. So it's so important that when you're trading the markets, that you have, when you have your trading, that you have a setup, okay? You have some sort of a setup that you look for on the charts, and then you go look through the individual stocks on the S&P and the Dow, and then you trade that. And regardless of what the Dow Jones is looking, the Dow Jones is thinking, and so on and so forth, you just trade that, and you trade based on what your system says, and then try to have good risk and trade management, which means good risk management, and then trading well, which means trying to maximize that profit as much as possible while not being too greedy. And then just repeating that process again and again and again. So when we're looking at the markets, when we think about the markets, like what's happening right now is that I started off with this video with trade what you see and focus on what the market is doing. And if you focus on this here, you'll know that I've said for quite some time that we may be forming some sort of a top here, we may be not. But right now, the buyers are still definitely in control. And what is that? This is just a fact of what the market is telling us, right? We have, let me take everything off the screen here. On the S&P 500, what do we have here? We have a low, a high low on this weekly chart, and this low. So what does that mean? The buyers are still in control. The buyers are still raising their prices. And until that happens, there's not even a top being formed before we start what? 1 to 2 years of a downward market, known as a crash, right? So it's really interesting to think about the way that you look at these markets. So even if we do top here, no one, if this is the exact high in the market, no one can predict that. No one. What you can do is if the market starts to break down and then we start to break below these lows here, then we probably could see what? We could then, once we see that, if we start this, if this is the last little hooray in the markets, if it's the last little hooray in the markets, and it is, and we start to break down and we start to break below these support levels, and then we start to do that, yes, guess what? Then we're probably likely to start to see something like that. Now that there, by the way, guys, is what? A 12-month process, which in theoretically it's like this. Makes sense? Pullback swings. If you are thinking that you're going to see this, that if you're thinking that the market is going to do this in one big day, which you probably think, that is just completely unreasonable in the markets. And if you're trying to bet on that, and if the market doing that, you're putting the odds against you massively, right? Absolutely massively in the markets. Because remember, on the S&P 500, that is, now individual stocks that can happen, but on the S&P 500, the Dow, is that there's limiters. When the market's down 7%, guess what? They come in and they shut it down for a little bit because there's too much selling. I learned that into trading the E-mini futures through 2008. So the markets continue to raise their prices, so the buyers are still in control overall. Yes, we get little pullbacks, but the little pullbacks are short-lived. Why? High, low, high, low, high, low. And this is just the art of reading what the market is telling you right now, and then just going based on that. And same with the Dow Jones as well too. Right? Low, high, low, another little high, low. We came down, and now we're starting to break out through there, and we're starting to hold here. And now we're rallying out, and now we can start to see this market continuing up from there. Makes sense? So if you look at the SPY and everything like that as well too, once again, nice for breakout. Say the DIA, same sort of thing, right? Moving out, and now we're starting to increase up through there. So we had this sideways movement, but what was happening through here? The market was still creating these major higher lows, weren't they? DIA, look at this here. Low, major higher low, major higher low. And so the buyers are still definitely in control. So trying to fight that market, even though we may be forming a top, we never know. In fact, my analysis says that a 29,000 Dow is likely to be hit if we do break out, and that's what's been happening there. So my whole purpose of doing this video is to help you understand that it's so important that you use this analysis when you're even trading your stocks. Okay, is to see what the chart is telling you, because we think, oh, okay, I need to trade the news because the news is going to move the market, and that's the only way I can trade it. But hang on a minute, how can you trade that? How can you trade the news when the news comes out and then suddenly the market moves? Because just because something might be known as good news doesn't mean the market's going to go up, and just because something is known as bad news doesn't mean the market is going to go down. Hey traders, John Howell here. Thanks for watching my video. For a limited time only, I am giving away free access to my brand new trading course. I've put all my most powerful systems, strategies, and trading techniques that I've learned over the last 15 years and put it in this course, and I'm giving it away for free for a limited time. So you're in this brand new Go to the Markets by the Board trading course, and you can get it when you go to johnsfreegift.com. You're going to learn, firstly, you're going to get access to a brand new training that goes for 90 minutes, and you're going to learn all the details step by step to my #1 trading system with over a 90% success rate that works on any market and any time frame. You're also going to learn 3 powerful chart reading and trading techniques. You're also going to learn 2 more powerful trading systems, and also you're going to learn 7-figure trading secrets, mindset techniques, and so much more. There's top 13 mistakes you're going to learn, the 10K per month formula, and so much more. No, this is not a get rich quick scheme, but if you are struggling with your trading right now and you need help, then for a limited time, you can get free access to this. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now, or click on the very first thing in the description, because for a limited time, I'm giving away. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now and start getting access to this full complete trading course, plus also the free training with my #1 trading system with over 90% success rate. Go do that right now, and I'll see you on the next page.